Money. It affects our everyday life. But how do we make more of it? Manage it. And make sure we make the most of our money. Welcome to Money Mindful, a podcast to teach and support you as you learn to manage your money.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of the Money Mindful podcast. I am your host, Meaghan J Smith. And today we are going to be talking about the model. Now, last week I started the first episode of a 3-part series all about thought work and money. I am a life coach and I work with women on how to create the extraordinary lives they want on purpose. And the tools we use to create that are thought work tools. So as a coach, I work with my clients and help them see their mind, like see what they are creating in their life, and then assist them in deliberately creating what they actually want instead of just creating stuff unintentionally on default. So this 3-part series is about introducing to you some concepts and tools that I use when I'm coaching my clients, and they're tools that you can use as well if you practice them. So today I want to talk to you all about the model. Now, the model is the main tool that I use in coaching, and it was developed by Brooke Castillo from the Life Coach School, which is the school that I am trained through. Last week, I talked to you all about a thought download, what a thought download is, and how to do that. I really hope that you have had a chance to give that a go over the past week, because that will really help you with what I'm talking about today. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to last week's episode, I highly encourage you to just stop this now and go and listen to that one first, all about thoughts, and then pick up again here. All right, so there are 5 factors that influence how we experience our life, and they're all put together in this tool called the model, and I want to explain what those 5 things are. So the very first thing is circumstances. Now, circumstances are things that happen in life, events that we have no control over. So a circumstance might be that it's raining outside. Okay, that's very factual. Everybody would agree on that. And that is something that we could prove in a court of law. Okay, it's undisputable. Now, if I said the weather is terrible today, that is not a circumstance. That is not a fact. That is just a thought that I'm having in my head, because somebody else might have a completely different thought about that same circumstance. So my neighbor might be thinking, oh, what an incredible day it is today. I love it when it rains. Or, oh, this is so fantastic. My garden is getting a water today. All of these sentences are just thoughts in our brain, okay? They're not the facts of life. Circumstances are the facts of life, all right? So you might have a circumstance that you have X amount of dollars in the bank, whatever that amount is. That is a circumstance in the sense that we can prove it. You can print out your bank statement. Everyone would agree, yes, you definitely have this amount of money in your bank account. Now that circumstance is completely neutral. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. Okay? It's just a fact of life. Now, it doesn't become good or bad until we have a thought about it. And here's why. You might have, I don't know, $10,000 in your bank account and be absolutely stoked about it. You might have thoughts like, wow, I'm so secure. I know exactly what I'm doing with my money. I'm so good with money. I have all the money I need. And you might feel really fantastic about that. On the other hand, same circumstance, $10,000 in the bank, somebody else might have thoughts like, oh, I just never have enough money. I need to save more. I feel so stressed that I've only got $10,000 in my bank. You can choose to think about the same circumstance in completely different ways. And this is kind of a funny thing to get your head around at first because it's the same no matter what. Like somebody dying, I know this is a bit gruesome, that is just a circumstance. It's totally neutral. It's not until you have a thought about it that makes it a good thing or a bad thing or something that triggers you to feel pain, like because of your thoughts about it. Because people die all the time. I don't know why I went straight to this really full-on topic, but these things just pop into my head. Sorry, bear with me. But somebody dying, people are dying all the time. Okay, I don't know the exact statistic, but think about all over the world, people are literally dying all the time. Now, that doesn't affect you until you have a thought about it. Okay, it's just a neutral circumstance. It's not good, it's not bad, it's only how you choose to think about it. Now, I'm not suggesting that if somebody in your family died that you're not going to have thoughts about it like, this is terrible, I'm so upset, I really loved that person. Of course, and you can choose to think those thoughts, right? But at the same time, you have a choice in the way that you think about circumstances in your life. So the next point in the model is thoughts. Now, I covered this a lot last week. So a circumstance is neutral. It's something that happens in life that we can prove in a court of law. It's facts. It's a neutral thing. These circumstances can trigger us to have thoughts. Okay? So we have thoughts about the circumstances in our life. For example, what I just said about the $10,000 in the bank. $10,000 in the bank, total neutral circumstance. You can choose how you want to think about that. But for most of us, what we do is, because this is how our brain works, we just think on default. We think thoughts that we've been thinking for a long time in our life. Our brain rehashes thoughts that have got well-worn pathways, like neural pathways in our brain, right? So if you've always thought that you're bad with money, you might have $10,000 in the bank, you might have $50,000 in the bank, you're still going to think that you are bad with money. It's not the amount of money that you have, it's the thought about it. Okay? So it's the same with debt. You might be $10,000 in debt and not be worried about that at all, or not have any negative thoughts about it. At the same time, you might be $10,000 in debt and be thinking, oh my gosh, this is terrible, I'm going to die. Like, this is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to me. I don't have enough money. This is really serious. Like, you could have all these thoughts about it. Or you might have thoughts like, oh, right, I guess I better put some money aside the next few pays to pay that debt down. Or you might not have any thoughts about it. it might not worry you at all. So thoughts are sentences that we have in our brain. Now, we think a lot of thoughts unintentionally all the time, but we can also think thoughts on purpose. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But basically, circumstances are neutral, and then circumstances can trigger thoughts that we have. And those thoughts can be unintentional thoughts or intentional thoughts that we choose to think about a certain situation. All right, the next point is thoughts cause our feelings. Now, most of us think that our circumstances cause our feelings. Okay, so going back to the example of a loved one dying, we think, well, the person that I love in my life has died, and now I feel pain, and now I feel sad. It's not actually that the person has died. It's your thoughts about it. All right? And it's and of course, of course you would have thoughts that would cause you pain if somebody died. I mean, that's totally natural, right? But maybe somebody dies in your life and you don't feel pain. It's all about how you think about it. Now, I'm going to get off the topic of people dying because I feel like this is taking a downturn, which I didn't kind of expect. No, I'm sure everything's fine, but I'm just trying to give you examples. I'm going to keep it on the topic of money. So getting back to our $10,000, I'm going to talk to you about some thoughts that I've had. So in the past, because I've done a lot of work on this, when I thought about my bank account, like the amount of money in my bank account, I used to have a thought that I don't have enough. And I always had that thought. And when I thought I don't have enough, like money, that is, I felt insecure. It caused those feelings of insecurity. And what the missing piece for me was, though, I thought that I felt insecure because of the amount of money in the bank. But it wasn't the amount of money in the bank that caused me to feel insecure. It was my thoughts about the money that caused me to feel insecure. All right. And our feelings are so, so powerful because we are totally motivated by our feelings. We will do things or not do things completely dependent on how we think we're going to feel. Now, this might be something that you do unconsciously, like unintentionally, but it's something that you can also do intentionally. And we often don't realize what we're doing until we take the time to really examine our thoughts and what they are causing in our life. So depending on how we feel will influence what action we take, so what we do. And this is the fourth point, okay? So when I feel insecure about money, what I would do was I would spin about it in my head. I would think about it all the time. I would worry. I would completely block myself from any other opportunities because I was so focused on that I didn't have enough. All right. I was completely consumed with that idea that I didn't have enough. So all my attention and energy was going into seeing all the evidence in my life where I didn't have enough money. And the result of those actions, which is the fifth point, so far I've talked to you about circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and now actions cause the result in our life. So the result for that was I just created more insecurity for myself. And I completely shut the door on being able to feel secure or create security for myself. Because I was consumed with that thought, I don't have enough. And when I think I don't have enough, I feel insecure. And then when I feel insecure, I spend a lot of time worrying. I focus on all the things that I don't have. And what I don't do is I don't spend energy on creating what I do want. And so the result is that I still don't have enough. And it's just like I amplify that. So this is how thought work affects your ability to have money. Because if you have lots of thoughts about money that are thoughts like, I don't have enough, I don't understand money, money scares me. Like, let's go with that one, for example. Let's say you have a thought that money scares you. When you think about money and you think money scares me, you're probably going to feel scared or fearful, like whatever that is for you, or maybe you feel insecure. And when you feel scared about money, the actions that you're going to take are probably things like ignoring money, pushing money aside, because what do we normally do when we're scared of things? We hide from it, don't we? We hide from it. And the result of that would be is you probably don't have a lot of money because you have a thought that money scares me. And if you have a thought that money scares you, I would suggest that you are probably rejecting money in your life, because in most cases we move away from things that we're scared of, right? That's human nature. That's the way that our brain works. All right, so I just want to recap this for you. So I want to talk about the model that I've just run down for you. So this is a tool that we use in coaching, and I've only given you the very basics. So there's not a lot that you can do with it at this stage until I give you some more information about it. But this is why you have a coach. So basically everything that happens in our life, we can put into the model, which is what I've just described to you. So any circumstance you can put in the circumstance line of the model, and then you can think about that circumstance. What thoughts do you have about that circumstance? So for example, the money one, the circumstance was money, and the thought I had about it was I don't have enough. And then when I think that thought, I don't have enough about money, I feel insecure, right? And when I feel insecure, I spin in my head and I get really worried. I operate from a very small space, right? Because I'm feeling insecure. I shut down opportunities that might come my way because I'm not even looking for them. I'm completely blocked from it. And the result is I amplify not having enough. And I just keep creating that result for myself of not having enough money. Now, here's the really interesting thing. I've done a lot of work on this, and I'm not in that space anymore, and I'll share more with you on the next episode about this. But I went through a stage where I did make more money. So I made a lot more money, had a lot more money, had investments, and you know what? I still felt insecure because I thought it was the money that was causing me to feel insecure, but it's not the money. It's your thoughts about the money that cause you to feel that way. And this was highlighted for me because I realized it didn't matter how much money I had, how many investment properties I had, how many investments I had. If I kept thinking that thought, I don't have enough, I will keep feeling insecure. I'm just doing like the hand movements of mind blown, right? This is the kind of work that will change your life. And this is why I'm sharing this with you, because I don't walk around with that thought anymore. But I will tell you that I didn't go from I don't have enough to, oh, I've got all the money in the world and butterflies and rainbows, fly out of my ass. Like, no, that is not what happens. And I think this is where the whole affirmation thing, this is the missing link, because you can say affirmations and you can say beautiful thoughts until you're blue in the face, but it doesn't mean anything until you actually believe it. Okay, it doesn't create any results in your life unless you actually believe it. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to do that in next week's episode. about how to use the model to really see what is happening for you now, what you are creating in your life and why, and then how to deliberately create what you do want, and how to create thoughts that actually get you the results that you want. And there's a little bit of a technique that you can do. Okay, I think that's all I've got for you today. If you would like to explore your thoughts and get more help with this, you can reach out to me anywhere you follow me. If you go to the website, there is a book consult button and you can book a consultation with me. It's completely free. I work with you for an hour or 45 minutes to an hour. And that's your chance to go over with me everything that you want to work on. Talk to me about what you want to change. I give you the chance to experience a little bit of coaching. We do like a mini coaching session so you understand and experience what that's like. And then I let you know if we're a good fit, like if the coaching that I do it can help you or not, or depending on what it is that you want to work on. So I would love to work with you. I would love to see you creating what you want in your life. I have been doing this work for a few years now, and I have completely changed my life, the way, like in terms of literally, in terms of where we live and what I do as a job, but also in terms of how I feel about myself and how I operate in the world. And I feel like I'm living in a place of intentional abundance, like creating what I really want. And I would love to work with you to be able to help you do the same. So reach out, and until next time, have a beautiful week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Money Mindful podcast. For more info, visit moneymindful.com.au. For future episodes, be sure to subscribe. And remember, the information in this podcast is of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal circumstances or goals. Please seek professional advice for your own financial needs. Remember to have fun along the way.